Howdy, 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 everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I got a kind of a cute little story, I think. It's kind of a family one here. But back, when we maybe had the little 17-acre piece there first, we bought that one first. We have 55 acres now. And all the other 6 pieces that we have total, they'll join together and make one big one. But this one, we first had the 17 acres, and that was it. And we didn't have nothing. We had 4 kids. They were small. I think the oldest one was, I'm not sure. But they were all young. And I think Chad might have been 10 or 12, I'm not sure. He's the oldest, and it went down to, I don't know, the baby. But we had lived out, we had built a small little, we had a little mobile home we brought in, and living off grid, no power, no phone, nobody, totally in the middle of the wilderness. Is wilderness? I don't know, but middle of nowhere. I mean, for miles and miles and miles. And we packed our own water in, and in buckets from a spring, because we didn't have a well. We didn't have hot water. We had it was just real rustic. We'd only been there for, I think, maybe a couple of years, and it took us a long time to get really, set up, even in a kind of remote way, not set up like we are now. But we were taking showers, and we didn't have showers. We didn't have running water in the house. We put all the water in it that we poured into a big bucket out front, and a 55-gallon drum, and then we would, if we needed cooking water or flush the toilets or anything like that, we'd go take big buckets out of that and use it. Same with the bath. We had a bathtub in there, no water to it, had a drain, but we would take the showers. We'd get a big we had a big bucket, and we fill that up. Connie put it on the wood, or on the either the wood stove or the gas stove, for showers. Everybody get one of those. They get one bucket, and they get a big glass, and or a jar. It's like a plastic glass or whatever we call them. And they'd dunk themselves once or twice with it, and they'd lather up, and then they'd get like 3 or 4 dunks to rinse the mouse off, and that's all you got. And she, like I said, it'd be warm water. So that's what we lived like that for quite a while. I mean, yeah, it really wasn't tough. In fact, most of the kids all say, they enjoyed that kind of life. I don't know if they would admit it now. They're getting on 50 years old now. But anyway, we our property is in the middle of a national forest in part way, and then it's the other part surrounded by big logging company property. I mean, this is I don't know, thousands of acres or whatever it is, And so every once in a while, we'd need a little firewood that would we'd like some dull or some coal wood. We call them coal, but. Shouldn't have gone in there, but we just buying, we're going down, we get some dead wood, we use it for kindling and stuff. And so we went on this, we had a little road there that went on to, their property. And we'd, just go in there. The boys and I would, the baby wouldn't go, but we'd all go down there and, drive around, look for it, see a little log or something, we'd cut it up, take it home. And we didn't hurt anything or, anything like that. So one day we had all the, I think the wife was there, and we had all 4 kids there, I think. And we were driving around in this one area. It's about maybe 3 miles from our house, maybe, by the time we go on the property and drive, because it was a big piece of property, maybe thousands of acres. And they had logging roads, and did in the summertime. Anyway, this one day it was really hot, dry. You're driving down the road and the dust is coming up, and kids are in the back of the pickup. Nowadays, if the cops found out, they'd probably crucify me for that. But, they're in the back of the pickup truck and, having a good time. But it's hot and dusty and cutting some firewood. And, I had 3 of them in the car, and the wife, and plus the baby, like I said. And so when we're driving, and all of a sudden, I noticed a swimming hole, you know, not a real big one, but it was it's like a good sized swimming pool, maybe 40 foot in a circle, maybe something like that. And it was deep, about 8, 9, 10 feet deep, you know. But anyway, I slammed on the brakes, you know, and I said, "Hey guys, check it out, you know, check that out, you know." So we backed up to it, and right on the road. And you know, here's somebody, nobody ever goes out there. I mean, you know, they logged a place, they own it. Nobody's ever back in there ever. So, well, to my knowledge. So we back up to it, and man, it's just beautiful, just like in the movies. It's got, you know, the oak trees that are hanging over the water, and you know, and it's all in the pine trees. You know, you're talking out in the middle of absolute nowhere. You know, they get this pond. You know, don't know how it was getting filled or anything, but it was. It's just a gorgeous little place. It was just beautiful. I guess they used to fill up their water trucks or something there, and when they were logging and stuff. So we all get out, and man, I'm there, and I go, wow, you know, because it's hot. This is right in the middle of summertime. We're getting, you know, some wood in for winter, and geez, and so I says, hey, I'm in. So I took all my clothes off, put my underwear, and I jumped right in there, you know. And all the other kids, yeah, you know, all the boys, they go run in there, and they're, you know, they go down their underwear too, and so we're in this, you know, enjoying it. I mean, it's hot, desolate, dry. Been out working, cutting wood and stuff. Kids been helping load the truck and stuff, and all of a sudden you got this, man, like a swimming pool right there, and we jumped in that sucker. And the wife, if I'm not mistaken, I think she, you know, you couldn't take all the clothes off, but she, you know, it was in shorts and kind of got in, and we're swimming in there. And it's big enough to swim. I mean, you know, a little bit. And it was so refreshing and nice, and it was just great. Loved it, you know. So we spent quite a while out there, and so anyway, we went back to the house 3 or 4 miles away, and it was hot summer. So you know what happened? Oh, I said, oh, that was great. All kids, hey, can we go out to the pond? You know, and yeah, and they got the rope thing. If I'm not mistaken, they had a rope on the thing. You know, there's, you know, where they take the rope and dive into it off the rope, and having a great time. So we took a little bit of soap, and we were even, you know, instead of take our showers, which had to be a big deal, like I told you, you know, we got the big bucket warmed up, and you know, so hey, we take a little small bar of soap. We're you know, cleaning up out there, and we're just having a good time. I'd bring a couple of beers. I've done the site. We're just having a great time. Kids are loving it. I mean, they're having you know, splashing each other, and you know, the water fights and everything, and clean up and come in. So for the summer, we did that, you know, pretty much. Had a great time. It was, you know, like our own little beach, you know, little swimming hole. And that one really, I was just laying in bed the other night and I thought about that. I forgot about it for a long time. But anyway, we did that for years and years. And, you know, not every day in the summertime, but yeah, it was just a blast. You know, it was a great thing. We would even, a lot of times, if, you know, because bath time took a while because you had to warm up the water, and then one guy take his bath, another guy, or a shower, and then another guy take it, you know, so it took a while. So a lot of guys would say, hey, I'm going to go rinse off at the pond, and you know, they had to take their motorcycles, or they all got off-road motorcycles and stuff like that. And sometimes we'd let, you know, Chad drive the truck out here, you know, 12 years old or something. You know, and you know, because it's all on dirt roads and private property, you know, and stuff, and you know, they go, well, I'm going to go out to the pond and rinse off, and you know, and so they'd do that and spend a half hour. It's a great time. Great time. I stopped, the reason I stopped, because we were doing it for quite a few years, and one time I got in there and something bit me right in the groin, pretty close to the, you know what, and I, you know, and it hurt. So then after that I got leery about getting in. You know, I didn't like that, so I didn't, you know, so I kind of backed off. The kids still went out now and again, but eventually it faded out. But it was a great thing. Talking about that one last thing, unrelated to that, but it reminds me of a story that Chad, my oldest, we used to, when he was, I don't know, maybe 12 years old, we had this big old Dodge Power Wagon, club cab thing, and big four-wheel drive, and, a work truck, nothing pretty. So Chad's sitting there, and we're outside, and I threw him the keys. Well, why don't you go in there, give it a try? He'd never been in a truck before. I mean, never did one. He's only 12 years old, can't hardly see over the dash. So I said, go ahead. I said, if you come in a bad spot, just shut it off, walk home, but drive it. So that's how he learned how to drive and okay, so he jumps in there, by himself, wouldn't let him, safety belted him in. And so he has gone, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And we could, in the mountains it's so quiet, you can hear somebody a couple miles away driving around. So we did, yeah, you're still going, look. And so he would, so he came back, having a good time. But he was, the rear bumper was dragging on the ground. And so, so I don't know, I can't remember what happened. He ran over a stump or something. I don't know, so the bumper was kind of, part of it was connected, the other was sitting on the ground. But that was his first driving lesson by himself. Well, I figured might as well get to it, so jump him in there. It's like when my dad taught me how to swim. Went to the big public swimming pool where they had a guy that was training people. And I was about 6 years old. They just threw you in there. They told you what to do, and they just throw you in this pool. And you're splashing around. You go down once. As soon as you go down, the guy's got this big old 20-foot long pole, and he sticks it to you. So when you're going down for the third time, you grab this a stick, and he lifts you up, and then he'll pull it away, and so that's how you learn to swim. I learn how to drive the same way. And I know I'm gonna tick every lot of you people off. I'm sorry. Well, I kind of got hurt. I know, but it is what it is, and it happened. So I apologize if I've done something wrong. But a couple of cute little stories. I thought they were pretty cute. Hope you enjoyed them. Thanks. Bye.